Felder, backup point guard opportunity for him.
They're looking for K-Fed to do a lot more off the ball and on the ball. You know, with the Cavs, sometimes you're playing with LeBron, so you got to be able to not only score the basketball, but then they have those.
Meanwhile, Cavaliers are 2-0. Felder into a seam, and that is emphatically rejected by Damian Jones. And on the foul. League games over the last 3 seasons. Had a quick tour with the Memphis Grizzlies a couple of years ago. Pitch ahead to Brandon Paul, and he finds Casey out of pretty much the entire season. Paul pulls the trigger and rips the cords. Illinois star played in Turkey a year ago. And the Cavaliers have the first 6. McCaw will try for 3, and it's through.
Definitely worn off on some of these younger players.
McCaw in the friendly confines. This is where he played his collegiate basketball.
Standing of tendencies. And, you know, that definitely helps you from a coaching standpoint.
And then intended for Jones, thrown away. Felder on the pickup. A look ahead and a slam for Brandon Paul.
Shocked when he heard that David Griffin was not returning as the team's general manager, has now taken over the interim duties. Today, in fact, they announced Jose Calderon as the backup point guard.
It won't affect them because this is a veteran group that you have in terms of LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, you know, you got Ty Lue.
James. Bell. To a cutting Alex Hamilton. Great by Golden State to draw within 1. A drive and a flip that Malcolm Brogdon last year in Milwaukee.
John Hammond is one of the best in the business.
How about that for McCaw? Yes, for the Cavaliers. Post-up opportunity for Malcolm Thomas, and he hooked
his greatness. You know, you put him on the court with 4 other all-stars, guys who are big-time stars in this league, and he's reluctant to shoot the Warriors.
Yeah. You know, Jerry, you're absolutely right. It will be some time before he's allowed to be the man. However, the people that he has in front of him that he gets it, you know, as
Felder. Nifty handles, but can't pay it off. Offensive rebound and stick back. Chip teams need stars, but as you well know, they need role players too. Guys who can do the little things in the dirty work.
And you know, you're absolutely right. You know, when you talk about the dirty work as a, but you know, when we always focus on the superstars in terms of championship play, but it's always
Isaiah and I know that you obviously very pleased with the player that he has developed into. What do you see from him?
Well, he knows how to play. I mean, he's smart. Bob Myers, they've done an amazing job putting together this roster the last few years, and Patrick will be a big part of it. And you know, talking about the modern NBA, you got to have big guys who can switch and guard point guards off the dribble, and that would make a couple nice passes.
And you've got a stacked roster, and you add Omri Caspi and Nick Young. So for the young guys that are playing here in Summer League,
what happened? you know better than anybody. When you win, all hell breaks loose. You don't think about it.
When we were watching you guys practice and, you know, watching Clay, Steph, and Durant shoot.
Home court, all that, but we want to be peaking in May and June. And that may mean resting some people a little bit more, playing a lot of people, and trying to ease into things.
But the mental stamina to be able to concentrate every night when you're everybody's big opponent.
Right.
You know, every guy, every team that
they go, well, I could be him, right? Like, and it's like, no, you can't. But don't tell them that. Be with your girls, like do the stuff that fills your cup up and gets your emotional cup filled again, because he lives a life that most of us don't. You know? So Joe and Peter are committed. They're all in, and they've done an amazing job of building the fountain
in San Francisco. You know what's happening in the Bay Area. You know these years, these moments, what they've done for, you know, kids of all ages. You know, you can't put a price on that. And you know,
he's more their size, and the thought is, hey, if I go in the gym and I work on my handles and work on my shot, maybe someday.
Is by allowing little kids to have the dream and to see a Steph Curry perform and play every night. State is that they have 2 MVPs, not necessarily 3, and they will pay to keep that together.
Felder lays in.
everybody's got food in the refrigerator. They all got a car that they can drive, and they all got a nice home that they can live in. What the Cavaliers is looking for and need.
See, and I've always been a big Calderon fan, but the issue is age, and he's really been bothered by,
you know, quad injuries, you know, ankles, so forth and so on. So they will definitely need, you know, young help them with his length. And what we've seen and know about LeBron James, when people, as you suggested, they may be in a position where they can wait. They do have the luxury to wait and see how things kind of pan out, be a part of a winning atmosphere.
Well, and also an opportunity for some of these players here. Maybe they end up in Santa Cruz. 16th and 17th player on your roster can play both G League and in the NBA as McCaw out of Louisiana Tech. McCaw, long two, came up with air, but right there is.
And then you're right back into the season. And the thing that I like about it is the kids absolutely love it.
Brandon screen, McCaw got hung up. He'll try again. It's through and a foul.
Yes. That's when you know historically has gotten all the negative labels, have gotten all the negative terminology. So therefore, you know, people don't, you know, glamorize defense
anymore. As man, that was a bad shot.
No, very rarely you know. Actually, the only one who probably said it was
nowhere to go in the lane.
Is poor in terms of blocking out on the foul line.
Williams with a long two. Coming up as well. Ennis. Ooh, that's spiked.
Every single day. And, you know, that in itself puts a lot of pressure on, you know, you as a coach.
To do. So his offense, you know, opens up his passing by him being aggressive. And the same with K. You know, I need K to play at a high pace. And I asked, you know, K to, you know, to score the basketball like that. But with Kyrie and for our team to be successful, he has to score the basketball.
Another tweet
for us. You know, when I was in Boston, he was my guy. You know, Doc put me with Jeff, and he had
one coach that just believes in them, understands their skills, and know how to make them look good out on the floor. And you seem to have that with Jeff. Now, when you see him,
you know, I love Steve. You know, and I love Steve. You know, when he did TV, you know, usually, you know, what I hate a lot was when ex-players, Adam Silver, and what he's done for this league, and you know, we're gonna respect the rules, but we gotta do what's best for our players, and he understands that. But I got a lot of respect for Adam, so we're gonna try to abide by the rules. But
giving them their best shot the night before, they're eating right, they're sleeping right. You know, they come in with, you know, the type of fire, you know, to compete against the LeBron James and the Steph Currys. And
everyone wants to beat Cleveland. So for those guys to play every single night the way they do and compete and give their best, I mean, it's good for our game. And, you know, we've been to the finals 3 straight times.
And going out and getting Nick Young, they got better.
Flip that.
And then your mental stamina has to be superior to all others in the league, because you found me that little shot fake.
Free try right through the Lithuania, Poland, Turkey, and in Italy. Played 4 years for Florida State and reshaped that roster dramatically with the draft and free agent acquisitions. Williams, yes, and beautiful new building. Laid up and in by Emmanuel Omogobo, and that does it. 91-74.